everyone, and welcome again to Leaders Uncut. It's so great to have you here again with us. If it's your first time, welcome. I interview incredible leaders and entrepreneurs on this channel, and today we have exactly one of those here with us, and we have Grace Cupat, who is the founder and CEO of Viaskill. Hello, Grace. So great to have you here with us today.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I can't wait for you to share what you're doing with Viaskill. It's something so unique. You are working on a smarter career growth. So if you maybe can share the story behind your career journey and what brought you into the world of digital learning and workforce training, that would be great to start there.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that. So I started my career off actually as a graphic designer some 20 odd years ago now. And I got into it because I really love technology. And so as I progressed through my career, I started getting into more technology, more development. I became a leader in the space for engineering. And so I led a lot of teams throughout my career of the 2 decades. Another thing that I've done is also I've mentored a number of different folks with a company to help people get into the digital space, whether it's UX, UI design or engineering. And so I wanted to give back to the community and to give back to something that I really care about and how it changes our world. And so during my time as a leader and managing teams, I've noticed a lot of different things, and including mentoring, where people find themselves stuck or have an imposter syndrome, or they just don't know or realize that they have the skills to really carry them forward in their careers, or it stifles them in their current one, where they just don't know. And so that kind of led me to believe that there is something out there, that there should be something to help people really understand where they are in order to know where they're going, but they have to know where they've been, right? And so that is where Viaskill comes into play, where it really does take the utilization of AI to help reveal some of these things based on projects and skills that people do on a daily basis. And so,
Go ahead. It is so important because, there was definitely a gap. Very often when you look for work, I mean, you don't do a full analysis of your background. You very often you don't put yourself forward with all the qualities and the advantages that you may have, and people are very, very insecure. There is no roadmap. So, I mean, you're bringing that to the plate, which is critical.
Oh, thank you. Yes. We did a recent study where I believe it was about 89% of people don't really know how to articulate their daily lives. Yeah. And so with that, how do you know what to upskill, or how do you know what to put on a resume, or even how to articulate that during a performance review? And so that's kind of where the thought was. When I first developed Viaskill, it was really to help me identify these things to create a resume generator and have people chat with my background and my skills, which is another thing that's lacking, is that how do you put all of your experience into a single page resume? You know, you really can't. And so now you're competing against those who can write resumes or generations of platforms that can actually create those resumes for you. But it's really limited to what is seen on LinkedIn or what you can remember, you know? And so Viaskill is like, it was built on that AI powered design where it can help professionals track, showcase, and grow their careers proactively, as opposed to being a reactive platform, as opposed, you know, when you're creating a resume, or even just dropping it into ChatGPT or something like that.
Yeah, good point. Plus, I mean, we're faced with bots all the time. So when you send out resumes, I mean, your chance of being found is really slow, really small. So I would imagine your platform powered by AI, you probably also assist in that area of creating resumes that have a higher chance of being actually found when you apply to a job, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So our platform actually does do that's called an automated tracking system that often, you know, companies use to identify candidates over, you know, compared to other ones. And so our platform does do that, where it does help out to create resumes based on ATS scoring. But the one thing that's a little bit different that helps us stand out, or helps the person stand out, is that you don't constantly have to remember what you did for a job last year. So it stores all that information. So really all you need to do is put in the job description, and based on your existing items and things that you've done and skills, it'll just output that resume. So it's not a thing that you start over and over and over again. It's something that's continuously growing with you. So you're prepared at every step. You know, if an opportunity just drops into your lap, oh, I can build this right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can understand that. So with your learning platform, because it is a learning platform, you're using technology. How do you balance technology and human connection in that learning experience? Because that is also critical, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. That's a great question. And so one of the things that we want to do to help people understand between the technology and in the human connection is for a person to really understand that they have these skills and identify the careers that they're closely aligned with. I think that is the part that when you're out looking and you're not really sure what you align with, this AI will help identify roles and titles that you never even thought of or even knew existed. So in my career, you know, when we first started, it was webmaster, you know, and then that webmaster sort of turned into a slew of different titles that people really didn't know. And so that human element of identifying what those are and the skills associated to it is really crucial. And so we want to make sure that we're providing that information to the user, but then also for closing skill gaps, one of the things we're planning on doing is creating a micro learning courses. So when they identify the skill gaps, we're going to help them either identify, get with a coach, or go with a little micro course or something along those lines. And that's obviously later on down the path, but that's kind of how we want to really help people, you know, understand.
And that's critical. And that's one thing I'd like you to address, because very often people feel overwhelmed. They know they have to create their resume, they know they have to contact people, and they feel like, oh my God. And when you feel overwhelmed, you just don't do what you need to do very well. You don't.
No.
What you have incorporated, I think, and I'd love you to address that, is also you have some level of gamification in what you're doing, correct?
Yes. Exactly. So one of the things that we have that we're doing right now is, so when you say gamification, can you share with me, like, what is it?
Well, what I mean, it's the process of developing what is needed, a resume, or that process is almost, I think it's not a game, but I mean, it's very user friendly. It's fun because there is a discovery phase. You know, you uncover things about yourself that maybe you have not thought of. So to me, it's exhilarating. It's fun. It's a discovery. So I see that as a game almost.
Oh, yes, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, the gamification portion of it does make it a little fun to make these discoveries.
Yeah.
And so there are a couple of different areas within the platform that helps identify these things. And a few of the kind of funny stories where I have a few people that tried out one of our products called Skilled Print, and you put in some words and it identifies what kind of work or environment that you're in and who you are as a person and where you need to grow. And a few people have come back and said, oh my God, how does this know me? Yes. And so, you know, it's really fun to really identify, and then you're like, oh, you're right. That is an area that I need to work on. And so with that, along with creating a portfolio based on the want that you're looking for, the opportunities that you're looking for, it really pulls the different elements of your personality and your career story into a really readable, understandable platform where people can identify with you personally.
Yes, and that's so critical, because especially nowadays, a lot of people have to reinvent themselves, because what they have done for so long is not applicable anymore, and they have to evolve because of AI, because of emerging technologies. So when you do that exercise with you really have a potential to find a new side of yourself. And then realize, oh my God, I forgot I can do this, and oh my God, I can do that, and that comes up into maybe a new type of skill set that can be applied in maybe different organizations, different type of industries, right? I'm sure you deal with this all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest critical things that people do when they get into a role is they get pigeonholed into that job description often. And so the people that they work with don't know that they were a leader in this area, or they did, or they wrote a book in that area, or whatever it is that they've done. And this sort of helps to reaffirm what they've done, because they also tend to fall into that belief that this is all that I can do. And so this kind of brings it back up to the surface where they're like, that's right, I did do that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it really does help bring out that confidence and relieve us of that imposter syndrome that all of us have faced at one point in our life.
Well, exactly. And I think that's something that people face a lot, and very often they don't know how to handle it. So they don't do it. They just keep doing what they have always done. But the problem is what you have always done does not work anymore. You have to change what you have always done, because it is, like I said before, it is a time of reinvention. We have to adjust. We have to discover. We have to question ourselves. We have to broaden our lens so that we realize, oh my God, I have all these opportunities in front of me. But when you have a platform like yours, it makes it a lot easier to go through that process. So much.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And that's what we're hoping to bring to people, is like identify with what you do. And, you know, and so a couple of the tool sets that we have there is, you know, what are the top skills that you have and bring to the table that you didn't even know you did. And project management, for instance, you know, you're doing some of these things and you didn't even realize you were doing it. Like, I'm not a project manager, but then you realize, you know, I have done that. And so I think that's some of the things that we can help reveal and, you know, showcase and help people really understand and know where they're going. And so that's kind of where we sort of stand, to help people, you know, grow in their own careers.
Yeah, so that I love it. When I first discovered what you're doing, I was excited. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Because we feel so alone. I mean, when people look for work, I've done that too. You feel so alone, and you feel like you're sending information in the void. And that nothing ever happens. And I think that is the hardest thing, because a lot of people are isolated. They have to do everything on their own. They don't have someone next to them to help them out. So I mean, that is I see it, and maybe you can confirm that. But what is the biggest challenge that you see when you work with your clients, when you work with the people that you are speaking with that are trying to reinvent themselves?
I think one of the biggest challenges that people face right now is getting a resume out there that really speaks to what they do, and also speak to what the job description is wanting. I think that is the biggest thing. I've come across a number of different people. I've had a number of different interviews with folks that have sent out 100, 200, up to 300, 400, you know, resumes out there with very little response back. Yeah. And just wondering, maybe I don't have the skills, you know, maybe they're not really. And then you combine that with ghost jobs out there, where jobs are posted and they're not really jobs at all. Yep. And so you begin to lose faith in your own skills. And that's a lot of what I'm seeing in not only students, but people who are tenured in their industries, just really struggling to understand, what are they doing wrong? Resumes that once worked no longer work today. You know, and then they begin to think, well, maybe I'm just, you know, either suffering from ageism, or I'm suffering from these new folks coming out of college, or some of those things that are really struggling. I think this will help to affirm again that it's okay that you're sending all these things out, just so long as you're not spending that additional time, because it takes about an hour to 3 hours to create a single resume, even with the platforms out there today, because you have to adjust it. And so if you don't have to spend that time, and now you're just focused on what you're doing, you can just save that, put a resume out, create the portfolio for it, and just go on with your life and be assured that what you're doing is right. Yeah,
I agree with you. That is so critical. But one of the biggest values I see is you don't feel alone doing this.
Exactly. Right. You don't feel alone. And that way you get that affirmation that you are doing it. You are doing this based on what you just added, all the projects and the skills. And one of the things that, you know, when you put in a project into the platform, it pulls out about, you know, between 1 to 10 different skills along with that. And so with that, it tells you, you know, what you're doing.
Exactly. You know? And it helps you stay focused on where you have the highest chances of being uncovered or being discovered or being contacted, because that too, when you want to be a generalist, very often people don't see the reason why they should hire you. But when you really have a chance to discover how to pinpoint your biggest strengths, and the benefits that you can bring an organization, then you appear as an expert and a specialist, and everybody wants that. Even if you get older, people are afraid that, I know ageism is real, but that trend is also changing because people are going to live longer lives.
Yes.
So I just saw yesterday a company in England discovered a way to turn a 50-year-old woman into a 25-year-old woman. I mean, science is there. Yeah, it's happening. I'm talking to a lot of companies like that. So people have to change that mindset. First of all, bringing people that have maturity and experience that are older in a company is a wise thing, because they bring that wisdom and that experience that a 25-year-old cannot. So don't eliminate people that are older. This is stupid. This is a lack of intelligence, and it drives me nuts when I see that. I said, you have to have a balance, young and old. Don't keep the old out. I've suffered from that myself too.
Oh, yes.
But that's a lack of intelligence. I see that as a lack of intelligence. So that's the first thing that people need to remember. Second, you don't have to do it alone. This is why Grace is here. Leverage those tools. So having said that, Grace, how much does it cost? Because I'm sure this is the next question people are going to ask. How much does it cost to use your platform?
One of the things that I wanted to do for the platform is to give it to everybody. And so there is a free version that's going to be available to everybody at any time. And then we have our free. So we have our free and our paid versions. So the $8, $15, and $25 tiers. So even at the highest tier at $25, it's really not that expensive, considering that you have, you can have a portfolio. Not only can you have a portfolio, you can have multiple. And so if the person that's actually there who wants to get a job in design, but also wants to do freelancing in a different area altogether, that portfolio can automatically be created because it's pulling the different skill sets out. And so it's really catered. And I think that's part of the things that I wanted to bring to the market, a platform that's easy. It's $8 a month, $15 a month, or $25.
Amazing.
And it's really there to help a person grow. I've been there where I'm like, I need help. I need help with my resume. I need help with my portfolio. And even though I'm a developer and I can build these things, it still takes time.
It does.
And so I wanted to give back to the community that really helped me grow in my own space, and I want to give back. And so as a mentor, it was really important for me to be able to offer the free version, so that for folks who really are in a desperate situation, or even just anyone that just wants to grow and know what they have, that's always going to be there as an option.
This is wonderful. I mean, my God, and so affordable. I mean, literally, I was thinking $100 per month. Wow. I mean, literally, this is amazing. But that opens a door to so many people who don't have a huge budget. Typically, when you look for a job, first of all, you're scared. Your financial situation is in jeopardy. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you're very careful as to what you spend. But when you have a solution like that at that price level, oh my God, Grace, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I really hope that it will help impact a lot of people in a positive way.
In a positive way. I mean, it's a lifeline here. I see your company and your services, what you're doing here. It's a lifeline for people, and we need this so much right now. It's the right time. You're really offering something that can be life-changing, life-saving, actually, even life-saving. I really believe that.
I hope so. Yeah, I've shown this a number of different people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had this a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago."
Yeah. So this is a great story. This is a great company. My God, first of all, congratulations on launching something like that. It takes everything out of you. It takes someone very special to build something like what you're building right now. And I know you are that somebody very special. So if you maybe can share with us something, what drove, you shared what drove you to create that, but is there something that people should know about you, maybe that would surprise them, maybe an experience that you have shared, that you have learned something from, that could be beneficial to my audience? If that's the case, what would that be?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I always tell people, that when I grew up extremely shy, to the point where somebody would ask me, "Who's your mom?" And I would just be completely quiet. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in life was what somebody had told me, is that success is a bunch of failures going in the same direction. And so as you begin to grow, like, understand that when you fail, it's not the end of the world, is that you just keep going. Just so long as you go in that one direction, you're going to find your success. And I think that's the biggest thing that someone had told me once, and I remembered it, and keep going. And I kind of live by that today.
That's beautiful, Grace. And we'll write it down on the video because this is so beautiful. And you're absolutely right. My motto has always been never stop. Because sometimes, first of all, we don't control a lot of things in life. We think we do, but we actually, I believe we control absolutely nothing. But what we can control, and that's the only thing I think we can control, is to not stop, keep moving, because if you stay idle, nothing is going to come to you. But if you keep moving, even if it's not exactly the right direction, even if it's not your purpose per se, why you were sent to this earth to do, it doesn't matter, because when you're moving, eventually roads will show up and opportunities will come your way, and it's all about energy. When you move, you generate energy, and when you generate energy, you're going to get energy back. But if you don't, the chance of getting something back is a lot more difficult.
Absolutely. It's a great way to say that, actually, because keeping moving, I think, is just the most crucial thing. I think it's when you get stuck in your own head, you begin to experience fear, and then that movement is just sort of halted.
Yes, and my God, I've been slapped in the face so many times in my life, and it always happens. But for me, I always stand back up and I realize, okay, well, it didn't work that way. That's because it was not meant to work that way. So let's try another way. And eventually, when you try and you get slapped in the face again, eventually you are narrowed down to a path that's going to be the right path for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to try several things. You just have to. And
absolutely.
Then follow your heart, listen to your gut, because your heart and your gut is never wrong when you find a way to slow down and listen to it. And then you're going to be guided. You're going to find that guidance coming from above, and wherever forces are around you. You'll find that. But I see people when they are in a place of search, like they are when they look for a job, there is often so much anxiety and so much chaos that clarity cannot take place. And that's another thing that you are offering, is a chance for people to slow down and develop that clarity that's going to be critical going forward.
Absolutely. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that our platform hopefully will provide, is that clarity. I think there's a lot of fog around career. You think about what's going to school, everything was very structured, and then you're off after college, you're sort of on your own. There's no structure anymore. And you're just now trying to pull in the pieces and trying to see, did I do this right? And, and there's not, you don't have a career coach next to you 24 hours a day. So hopefully this will be a good alternative to that and provide a good avenue for growth.
That's wonderful. So Grace, if people are interested in trying out your platform or speaking with you, what's the best way to get hold of you?
The best way is actually through LinkedIn is probably a really good way to reach me. I answer most of my messages through there, and it's a lot, but I try to do that. But the other way is just, come visit the platform and come to viaskill.com. I think that's also another way, but certainly reach me out and friend me on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to chat.
That would be great. Okay, Grace, wonderful. So I think we have a good picture as to what you're doing and why people should at least discover what it is you offer, because it's very unique out there. And that's something that like I said before, can be a life-changing event, can be life-saving as well, because you may discover something that you never thought of. And you may realize, oh my God, I have this skill that I have not used in 20 years, and my God, I have that skill. So let's see what I can do with it, right?
Right. Exactly. And that's the best, that's the perfect thing, is that we're using technology, and people have been afraid of AI. And, it's one of the best things in the sense that it can really help us in our lives to identify things we never knew we knew.
Yes. And that's so true, because sometimes we think we know, but we don't. And it's, we don't know what we don't know. I love that sentence, because I always remind myself, hey, Catherine, you don't know what you don't know. So let's open up your mind and your eyes and get open to a discovery session of your life, because I really believe, and I say this all the time, we are at a stage of evolution of the humankind that is critical. And we are all now forced to reinvent ourselves because the world is changing. And it's not bad. It can be scary, but this is normal. Each time there is a change, we are scared because humans don't like change by nature. We just don't like change. But change is reinvention, and change is bringing a breath of fresh air. Change is opening up new opportunities. Change is allowing us to meet new people that can make a big difference in our lives. It is also a revitalization of the human being itself, because we need to be re-energized once in a while. It's like putting some nutrients in the water that you use to water your flowers. We need that. Change is just that. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So I think it's important for everyone to realize that. See change as something positive.
Absolutely. Exactly. Change is a positive thing. You think about all of the things we have today, from smartphones to smart refrigerators, really, things that we can't even imagine living without. So.
Yes. So I know a lot of people have lost their job, and I know it is scary, but it is inevitable. And the fact that you have lost your job means it's time for you to reinvent yourself. And now you have a tool that's going to help you reinvent yourself. So try it out. My God, the price is amazing. So there's no long-term commitment. Try it out.
Right.
Speak to Grace. You will have someone next to you that will be your online coach that will guide you in your rediscovery and your reinvention, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be a fun journey too.
Absolutely. We welcome everybody to try it out.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Grace. It was great to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much again for having me, Catherine.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. I love people like you. I love women of power like you that are just going for it. We're going for it. You saw a gap, and you're filling the gap. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Please share this video and share what Grace is doing, because sometimes you don't know that when you share something, you can actually save the life of someone, or you can give someone a chance to learn about Grace is doing, and then they're going to utilize that platform. And that will also help them discover maybe something new about themselves or new opportunities, but also they will find the courage again, or maybe the belief again that they may have lost in finding a job online is still possible. So we just have to have the right tool. You just have to make it so that you find a way to stand out. And when you have a coach like that and a platform like that, that is your guide into reaching out your goals, then again, you believe that it is possible, and it is possible. So use it, learn about it, talk to Grace, and give yourself a chance to make a change in your life. And share this video as much as possible. I do share it everywhere, but it takes a city to make an impact. And Grace needs this right now. And when you give something, when you help someone, it always comes back. It's the law of energy. It's also called karma. So let's make sure we share that everywhere. I appreciate you. And again, Grace, thank you. And we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. And all the best to all of you. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.